起享用这个捞烧美食的时候，那我们有请我们全校各位乐艺仔跟大家做一些知识分析，尤其是关于政治和经济方面的课题。
OK， 各位朋友们，如果大家不介意的话，我就会用英文来跟大家分享我以下10-15分钟的一个小小的资讯。OK， brothers and sisters, if everyone doesn't mind, I will be presenting in the next 10-15 minutes in English. I hope everyone doesn't mind. So I'm just going to have a little check. Okay. Now, brothers and sisters, what I'm going to be sharing with you this evening is the state of our Malaysia, the causes, effects, and the action that must be taken by all. Now, a lot of people forget that the power of the nation's destiny is actually held in their very hands. Now, the example I want to raise is back in 2008, in the 12th general election, the people of Malaysia, the people of Perak stood up. Not only did they stand up, and they voted for change. Now, essentially what happened was, the people of 5 different states in Malaysia voted for change. Penang voted for change. Kedah voted for change. Kelantan voted for change. Selangor voted for change. And if everyone remembers, and I want to thank everyone on this, Perak also voted for change. So with this, we thank you all. Thank you very much. Now, but let's note, we live in Perak. Although Perak did change, there was also an unwanted change that happened a year later. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say too much about what actually happened. I want to show you what happened. And I want to ask everyone if everyone remembers this.
Kita sudah tiada masa. Krisis ekonomi yang melanda dan di luar dugaan malah merupakan krisis yang terburuk semenjak the Great Depression.
Kedaulatan ekonomi akan berakhir dalam sekejap mata.
Now, friends and brothers and sisters, now this happened back in February 2009. For all intents and purposes, for whatever words they want to choose to use, it was a rampasan kuasa. For those who agree, please clap. Thank you. I think everyone agrees. It wasn't a peralihan kuasa, it was a rampasan kuasa. Now, I think we're a couple of slides back. No worries. Let me just move forward. Now, that was just something I wanted to use to basically remind everyone what happened. But let's now share with everyone what is happening now in our nation today. Okay? I want to focus on economy, because economy is something that's very important. Economy is something that affects each and every single one of us here. Now, for those who doesn't think the economy affects them, put their hands up. Good? No one thinks the economy doesn't affect them, because it does actually affect everyone. So, let's look at something that affects everyone in a huge way, which is the budget. The budget that was tabled in Parliament by the Barisan Nasional federal government. Now, if we have a look at it, it looks quite interesting, it looks quite promising. at a glance, it may even appear to be quite appealing. But let's just take a closer look. The BN government is trying to paint the picture that BRIM, Bantuan Rakyat Satu Malaysia, as, you know, or the notion of the government giving money, giving cash handouts, giving bantuan, giving assistance is something that is supposedly quite revolutionary, like it's never been done before, that is extraordinary, that it's noble, and that it's beyond the call of duty. Now, I'm telling you here, it's not. It definitely, it's not. Now, quite frankly, to us, giving out money to the rakyat, kerajaan membantu rakyat itu wajib. It's absolutely essential that government helps the people. 政府派钱给人民是一个应做的事，不是一个特别的事，不是一个特别的功劳。Okay, so let me just share with you, okay, what we think is something that is quite good. And it's something that happened before Bantuan Rakyat Satu Malaysia. Now, the Perak state government back in 2010, as early 2010, has started handing out around 100 ringgit under the Senior Citizens Appreciation Program. Okay? Now this is just one of the many things the Penang state government, the Penang Rakyat state government has done. Let's carry on. To each newborn baby in Penang who registered, mothers are given tokens of 200 ringgit, okay, under the Penang Golden Child Program. And in Penang as well, which is also, again, like I said, it's a Pakatan Rakyat state government, free Wi-Fi is given throughout the state. Who wants free Wi-Fi everywhere? Hands up! Those who want free Wi-Fi! Very good, So there's no rich people here, everyone's free. Okay? So, now, the point I want to stress here, it's not the fact that we've done these. It's the point that we did it without fanfare. We didn't announce it through RTM1, RTM2, Rehat Tunggu Mati 3. We didn't announce it through TV3. We didn't announce it through anything. We just did it without fanfare. The vouchers that we sent to the mothers, the vouchers that we actually sent to the OAPs, the senior citizens, were all done through mail. So we don't have to have any big events held in any village hall, in any day one where you have to wait about 6 hours just to get a 500 ringgit green voucher. We just did it through the most effective way, which is to send it straight to the recipients. Now, furthermore, this is the most important part. We see, Pakatan Rakyat sees the notion of giving money to the Rakyat as something that is part of the state government's responsibility. Okay? Now, the most important point that we want everyone to know, that not everyone knows about this. Yes, there's a feel-good feeling that this BRIM RM 500, although a lot of people actually know the story behind it. The Barisan National Government is actually giving out RM 500 ringgit to people whilst registering a huge national debt. Now, I'm going to go into debt in a little while. It's a bit of a dry subject, but I'm sure it's something that everyone needs to know, and I'm sure that Wadi Nakoming and Wadi Dr. Sriniza will be touching on national debt. Now, the Penang state government can afford to give out these money because there's a few things that we practice. It's good governance through strict savings, okay, and adopting a very prudent budget, prudent financial management, prudent economical management through three principles: competency, accountability, and transparency. Okay, I've already said it. Now, state governments, state administrations is as important as it is. It's a micro issue, it's a micro subject, and it's a micro view. But since we have lots of people here interested in big things, and we have lots of important people here, so let's look at the macro view. Okay, the macro view of our entire nation in terms of the economy of our nation. Now, Putrajaya, as in the federal government, the Federal Barisan National Government, if we just read, okay, 251.6 billion budget for the year 2013, which is smaller than last year's 252.4 billion, signals a slowdown in the government, in the federal government's revenue or annual economy that is putting Malaysia at real risk of undergoing a debt crisis like countries like Spain, countries like Greece, countries like Portugal. Now, if I mention those names in European countries, people turn around, people turn away, because the notion of these countries, well, actually the concept and the impression that these countries give to people is they're going bankrupt. And some have gone bankrupt. Now, this is the budget breakdown and the trends for 2010 to 2013. If we actually look at the numbers, now I'm not going to bore you with the specific numbers, but the summarization of it is revenue for the next year is projected to grow to only 208.6 billion. Okay? Huge numbers. 208 billion, while debt is expected to balloon to as much as 502 billion. Marking a whopping 107.4% increase in debt over the past 8 years, which has significantly raised the country's structural debt servicing commitments. What do we mean by debt servicing commitments? You borrow money from bank, you have to pay the money back, right, every month. Anyone who knows any banks, if you borrow money, tell me, I want to go and borrow. Okay? But this is a fact. From 2008, now brothers and sisters, please look carefully and listen carefully at this. From 2003 to 2008, in this 5 years, Malaysia's debt servicing obligations grew 21.9%. Okay? From 10.5 billion to 12.8 billion. But has spiked in the last 5 years by 73.4%. So basically what I'm saying is this month, okay, you pay 100 ringgit per month. Next month, because of what you borrowed extra, you're paying 173 ringgit. Now that's a big jump. Unless you suddenly got a very lucrative job lah. Okay? And the official federal government debt is also expected to hike as a proportion of gross domestic product, GDP. Okay, from 51.8 to 53.7%, putting it below, just slightly below the legally required or the legal barrier, what we call the debt ceiling. Okay? Okay? Now, 各位来宾，这个是一个非常重要的一个要点。从2003年到2008年，马来西亚的国债 ，OK， 大家如果是去银行借钱的话，每个月都要负债的，对吧 ？OK， 你负债当中，马来西亚的国债，马来西亚付回给他们的债主，从2003年到2008年之间，要回债还债的这个每个月要每年要还给的钱数。 增加了21.9%，也就是10.5这个105亿，110.5 billion 到128亿，这是在5年时期里面增长了73.4%。Okay, the official federal government debt is also expected to hike as a proportion of gross domestic. Okay, 这个回去。 我们的国债 ，OK， 国债每一个国家，他们欠债在法律上面都有一个最底线，就是对它的限制。那个限制的线是55%。马来西亚的国债对 GDP 的发现率，在2013年的财政预算案里面是定于53.7%，也就是 法律规定的以下1.3%而已。 大家看看 ，brothers and sisters, let's look at this. Malaysia's government debt to GDP ratio going back to 1990. OK， 各位来宾，我们看一看马来西亚的国债跟 GDP 相比。OK， 从1990年到目前，那个走势是怎样 ？OK，1992年直到1998年都向下升，这个是好的现象。From the years 1990 straight down to the year 1998, it's all the way down, going all the way down. That's a good thing. Debt to GDP going down is a good thing. Debt to GDP going up is a very bad thing. Okay? Now let's look. Under the names that I've got under here are the finance ministers in charge of the country and in charge of the economy. Okay? So let's look at who are the ones in charge of bringing a good thing to Malaysia and who are the ones who are bringing a bad thing to Malaysia. From 1990 to 1998, Anwar Ibrahim is the finance minister. GDP debt going from a whopping 79.5 billion straight down to 31.8. Okay? Then, not so beloved Mahathir takes over, then it shoots up. Then to Dayan Zainuddin goes up, but he brings it down. Then for some reason, as if he's doing a bad job, Mahathir takes over again. Okay? And then Abdullah Badawi, the last Prime Minister, took over also as Finance Minister. Then there was a slight decline, but it kind of stays the same. And then it comes to our current Prime Minister, Ajit Kaur. I'm sure different names will be used later on. If you look, as soon as Najib pretty much takes over, it shoots up.各位来宾，接下来这个图表是马来西亚的财政预算案、财政预算总数 ，OK？ 财政预算总数的赤字发现率 ，OK？Brothers and sisters, this graph indicates the debt percentage, the deficit percentage of the entire budget of Malaysia from the year 1990. Okay? Now, if we have a look through the Anwar Ibrahim years, from 1990 straight through to 1998, it goes from budget deficit, takes 2 years to recover, then it's all in the plus, which means that his bank account got money, bukan overdrawn. Then, suddenly, Mahathir takes over. Immediately, it shoots straight down. Okay? And let's skip those in between because they're quite insignificant. Go straight to Najib. Go straight down to 7.4 deficit, 7.4% deficit, which means that the prim that you're getting, the money that they're giving, is all given to you through borrowing from other countries and from international monetary bodies. So please, brothers and sisters, please do not be cheated and do not be led into believing that what they're doing you is a favor. In fact, they're doing a disfavor. In fact, they're screwing up your country. Okay? Now, why I say they're screwing up your country? According to Malaysian Institute of Economic Research, MIERS, okay, the federal government continues to borrow at the current rate. 如果我们现任的政府、现任的国政政府继续的用现在他们目前的借钱这个效率，不可以说是效率啊，他们借钱再继续像现在越借越多，每年再加、再加、再添、再添，添盈余是没有问题，它是添债。如果他们再继续这样再添加，在2019年，国债对 GDP 的对比将会达到1158 billion， 就是 1.58亿，这个数字是大到我都讲不出。Brothers and sisters, if we continue at the rate of borrowing, if this nation continues at the rate of borrowing that we are now, our country will achieve a national debt of 1,158 billion ringgit. Brothers and sisters, this is a huge amount. And what does that translate? What does that translate? No, sorry. It's 1.3 trillion. By 2020, our national debt will get to 1.3 trillion. Does anyone even know how many zeros there are behind the trillion? I don't. Our country, as a summary, will go and could go bankrupt in 2019. For those who want our nation to go bankrupt, listen carefully. Those who want our nation to go bankrupt, clap. Good. For those who do not want our country to go bankrupt, clap as hard as you want. So, without going too deep into economics and without boring you anymore with facts and figures, just want to share with you a few cartoons, a few kind of humorous take on what's happening. Australian Senator Nick Xenophon was chased out of our country, okay, because he's apparently, he's a threat to national security. Okay, AHJ 9379 AHJ 9379, please go and check on your car. Apparently something's gone wrong. AHJ 9379 AHJ. Now, this is Australian Senator. Because he was an observer in verse 3, he was chased out of the country a week ago. He wasn't allowed in. That is not good. Who has given someone AES? Hands up! This is this one here. Wow! 咁逢攻手法嘅喂。Okay, I ask you, 有邊個中咗 AES? Hands up, 舉手。我唔信。I don't believe you. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is AES. We agree AES is a good idea. But what we don't agree is the fact that AES was installed nationwide at a 10-time markup price. If it costs the government 10 ringgit, they actually mark it up to 100 ringgit. That's the problem that we have. And basically, not only are they taking money from the front pocket, they're taking money from your back pocket as well. Okay? And rebate 200 smartphone, okay? Ini tipu punya. Okay? Basically, they're trying to buy votes. And essentially, who knows about cows? Siapa tahu lagu? Okay? This is just to remind you of some of the things that's happening. We've got the scorpion issue, which I'm sure our speakers will probably touch on later on. And just to share with you some pictorial representation of some of the things that are happening. AES lah, Bersih lah, NFC lah, Hamba, Altantuya, Royalty Minyak, all these stuff. Now, the question that arises finally before I leave you, what happens now? What must we do now? What needs to happen now? Now is not the time to doubt the enormity of the task at hand, brothers and sisters. It's not the time for us to think, actually, are we powerful enough to affect the change? Okay? Now it's most certainly not the time to question or fear or doubt the destiny of our nation. What the time now is, I'm sure many of you agree, the time has to say no to all the wrongs that's been done upon us. Every single bit of wrong, Altantuya case, Scorpion case, NFC case, all these we have to say no to. Okay? We need to bravely continue the journey that we, Parakians, Penangites, Kedah, Kelantan, and actually a lot of Semenanjung Malaysians, we need to say, we need to do, and we need to vote the way that we need to bravely continue the journey and boldly embrace a brighter and better future, a more bersih future. And what we also need to do is to use this coming election to perfect our union as Malaysia. Brothers and sisters, now is the time for us to close the gap between the power of our ideas and the realities of our time. Now is the time for us to make that decision to bring a change, to bring a real change, and a change for a better Malaysia, and a better Malaysia not for just for us, but for our children, our children's children, and our full nation for now and forever. Thank you very much.
谢谢我们的哈位同志给大家分析现在马来西亚在经济方面